More special than a Daytona at a retail price, more unusual than an authentic full set of a vintage Rolex from the 70s, and surely less common than a Panerai under 40mm. A New York micro brand born only 6 years ago has launched on the market something unthinkable these days. Something that is not a vintage-inspired diver or a vintage-inspired GMT. It's Brew Watch & Co., an independent American brand with its Retromatic, a rectangular watch clearly inspired by the 70s. Let's take a look at it with me. Hello everyone, I'm Jack and welcome to a new installment of Into the Limelight. Back in English this time around. I'm wearing my Tudor Black Bay 58 Blue. If you want to have a look at my review of it, it's in Italian. I might add the English subs if you want, just write me down in the comments, but I put the link up here. And also regarding the English subs, I did the unboxing of this Brew Retromatic last week, but it was again in Italian. Again, let me know. So let's start from the history of this American micro brand, which is quite recent. It was born in 2015 by the designer, professor of the industrial design and head of brew, Jonathan Ferrer, with the aim of creating pieces with a unique design that stood out in the watchmaking scene. And in fact, this Retromatic goes straight to the point thanks to a rather particular shape that recalls the 60s, 70s TV monitor watches, also thanks to extremely nicely thought details such as the alternation of the brushed, polished parts of it in a 916L steel, or like it's a super stylish and very comfortable, kinda like integrated bracelet with horizontal links. Jonathan says he takes inspiration to design these particular pieces from the vintage coffee espresso machines of the bars. Since I don't have one at my place here at home, I put within my images a grinder, a coffee grinder from the 30s or the 40s from the brother of my grandmother. Brew already had two other pieces in their collection with a particular square-shaped case, but they are both chrono with 2 and 3 subdials, the retrograph and the mastergraph. But I personally think this is a more natural, effortless beauty in being so simple and so well done that I fell in love with it right away at first glance. I remember also asking my Instagram followers, if you're not following me on Instagram, I'll put the link up here so you can do that. So I remember asking my followers if they wanted to have a look at the Laurier Falcon 2 or this Brew Retromatic, and the Laurier Falcon 2 won like 60% versus 40%, but again I opted for the Brew Retromatic because I haven't seen any reviews of it on the internet, on YouTube, so there you go. And maybe the Laurier will come as well in the next few months maybe. So let's start with the technical specs for once before talking in depth about its design. The case diameter is 36mm, lug to lug of 39.5. It is only 10.5mm thick, 20mm lugs that taper down to 16, the butterfly clasp that wraps up this beautiful bracelet with an integrated look, and the crystal is sapphire on both front and the case back. Through the crystal on the back, we can take a look at the beating heart of this Retromatic watch, which is a Sellita SW200, a Swiss automatic movement, and it's thanks to this detail that on this blue model and on the black one as well, there is written Swiss made down there. For about 50 euros less, there are the other two colors, equally very elegant, in burgundy and green, which I liked very much, except that these two models are equipped with a more common and less refined Seiko NH35, and they don't in fact carry the word Swiss made on the dial down there. All in all, 415 euros for a watch with such a particular look and, in my opinion, elegant and sporty at the same time, operated by a movement that is mounted on watches of a very different range, such as the Oris Divers 65 or Baume & Mercier, watches that cost 1,000 euro more than this brew. Okay, thanks to the history of their brands, maybe their even better finishes and so on. But all those who want to criticize a microbrand because it costs too much to be a microbrand, well, here the movement is made in Switzerland, so there you go. I mean, here in this case, Brew is punching way more above their weight. And among other things, the color that I choose, this beautiful blue dial version, is already sold out, and rumors I've heard that Brew is not gonna put it back into their lineup soon or again or yet or ever. So good pick. As mentioned before, the design language of this Retromatic is similar to the other two Brew watches in the collection, but again it seems much more linear and interesting. For once, I really like the presence of the date, and its position at 6 o'clock perfectly fits this very special dial. The date in fact doesn't bother me down there at all, for once. On the contrary, it also seems to add something to the symmetry of the whole, which is even better. The dial looks almost like the pattern of a golf ball or the drain of the espresso coffee machines, and even at its case back, there are some details that remind me industrial coffee machines. I like the font of the brand and that there is only the name of the brand and the model and nothing else is written on the dial. The hue of blue is again very elegant. Sometimes, and it depends a lot on the light, it seems almost light grey. You see how it changes a lot? The touch of yellow of the second hand is the classic icing on the cake. It gives a little fun to the whole, spicing it all up. The fact that the case is not that sharp and kind of rounded on the corners, and it's kind of fat, it's kind of beefy, and most of all its mixed brushed and polished finish is in direct contrast with the very brutalist bracelet. All in all, it's so well proportioned and well thought, being one of the most interesting designs I've ever seen on a watch. The crown is embellished with a stylization of a coffee bean, another minimalist but very classy touch. Despite being a product of a micro-brand, the quality and feel that gives you this watch, it's really something. On the wrist, it fits a little bit bigger or bolder than I expected. I have a wrist of 17 centimeters or less, but still the presence on the wrist is almost perfect, thanks also to its super comfortable bracelet. The watch price in Italy is 415 euros, certainly not a lot for an object of design that will not blend into the mass of divers and GMTs that are flawed in the especially mid and entry-level market right now, and above all, with a Swiss movement. So what do you think of this very particular piece? What do you think of micro brands in general, and what do you think about getting, a particular piece of some particular micro brands? Which is your most favorite one? Let me know down in the comments below. Please put a like to this video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to get the notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back with some other reviews in English if you want. Thank you and bye. Ciao.